Lords, I rise with no emotion in my voice at all, because having been a government whip under both Margaret Thatcher and John Major, you will appreciate that one had to leave emotion aside. And I'm rising to support 17 and 127, those amendments which also bear my name. But in doing so, I first of all want to speak on the amendments 6, 9, 15, 36, 37, 39 and 42. Obviously, my Lords, I am against those amendments because I believe they would fundamentally alter the purpose and practical operation of this bill. If the aim of these amendments is to damage British businesses and our competitiveness on the world stage, the noble Lords promoting them should say so. They should also be open with this House. If these amendments are simply a product of opposition to the EU or anything associated with the word Europe, they should make that absolutely clear. My Lords, this raises a critical question. Who benefits from this approach? Not British businesses. Our industries require clarity, predictability, and coherence to thrive in competitive global markets. These amendments instead risk creating a fragmented system where businesses face the burden of navigating multiple and potentially conflicting regulatory frameworks. The UK has a proud history of robust safety and environmental protections. These amendments focus on what are termed foreign laws without any clear guiding principle and risk creating uncertainty about the quality and safety of products in the UK market. The outcome would be confusion for manufacturers, exporters, and regulators alike. These amendments also prohibit the use of some dynamic alignment, a valuable tool for ensuring our regulations remain relevant and competitive in an ever-evolving global market. The European Union remains our largest trading partner. Its product regulations set a widely recognized global benchmark. Dynamic alignment allows us to align with the EU when it is in our interest to do so, ensuring our businesses can access those markets whilst reducing additional costs or barriers. Denying this flexibility would leave the UK with an outdated and rigid regulatory framework to the detriment of businesses, workers, and consumers alike. And this introduces a potential free-for-all of standards with little clarity on how decisions would be made or who would be consulted. It's not the framework we need to build confidence in our regulatory system either at home or abroad. My Lords, these amendments represent a step backwards. They prioritise an abstract notion of flexibility over the real-world needs of businesses, consumers, and our economy. They threaten to create a chaotic, fragmented regulatory environment that would disadvantage British industry and weaken our position in global trade. But, my Lords, in support of the amendments that I have referred to, which bear my name, I believe these offer a practical and balanced approach to regulating products in the United Kingdom. They provide clarity for businesses by establishing alignment with EU product standards as the default position, while, of course, maintaining the flexibility to diverge where clear benefits can be demonstrated. My Lords, the EU remains our largest trading partner, as I have said, and its regulatory standards often set the tone for international markets. Aligning with those standards simplifies trade not only within Europe but globally, and many third countries recognise those rules, and British businesses benefit from this de facto international benchmark. Diverging from EU standards risks isolating our industries, as I have said, and placing UK businesses at a competitive disadvantage. The financial case for these amendments is also equally clear. Without regulatory alignment, businesses face the double burden, not only having to navigate two distinct sets of standards, but it's also not bureaucratic. It is expensive. The government's impact assessment has shown that duplicating conformity assessments alone could cost businesses up to £1.6 billion over the next decade. Many small and medium-sized enterprises that I think we should be particularly concerned about, these costs are insurmountable and may even deter them from exporting altogether. Our amendments mitigate those risks by creating a framework of consistency and certainty. I welcome the previous government, my government's decision, to extend the recognition of CE marking indefinitely. This amendment builds on that precedent, turning an ad hoc decision into clear, predictable policy. And I also want to just draw my Lordship's attention, it's already been referred to, but to the situation in Northern Ireland, where alignment with EU product standards is already, of course, as has been said, a reality under the Windsor Framework. This approach would complement the Windsor Framework, ensuring businesses operating across Great Britain and Northern Ireland have a consistent regulatory environment, reducing friction and confusion and avoiding separate rules governing different parts of our own country. And I'm sure that noble lords would agree that is desirable. Our amendments are pro-business, pro-trade and pro-consumer. They reflect the realities of our interconnected world and will ensure that the UK remains an attractive place to invest, trade and innovate.